Well, here we go. It's Wednesday, June 4th, 2014. This is Wayne Goldsboro Television. Thank you for being with us. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you too there.
You
Hi
too.
There.
Good morning.
Yes, don't you look nice there?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, it is a Wednesday, and we're happy you're here. And who's on today? What are we talking about today?
Baseball is the topic.
All right.
We're talking, this is actually part 3 of our baseball history, baseball of Wayne County.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, stay tuned because it's all about the local legends right here in our community in the baseball world.
That's right, and we have several from right here in Wayne County. Some are still quite active.
That's exactly
Sherry
right.
Nairn, for one, is very active in baseball. It's a coach, and it's a great program. And you would be surprised how many people actually are from Wayne County in professional baseball.
That's exactly right.
Still active, and in fact, one of the guys was at the, I'm not sure which particular program he's in, but one of them was at the meeting.
Wonderful.
Was at the program. Yeah, I can relate personally. I can relate to baseball quite a bit.
Can you?
Yeah, all through my life, I've constantly heard people say, "Hey, you, out of here."
There you go.
Yeah.
So you feel like you're at a baseball game?
All the time. Yeah. Okay. It's June 4th. It was on
Yes,
this day.
sir.
The year was 1939.
What happened?
Well, it was on this day. It was a golden year for movies, but this is not about movies. When a fellow by the name of Sylvan Goldman
Okay.
owned a chain of Piggly Wiggly stores in Oklahoma City. And he was, up until about that time, when you wanted to go to the grocery store to get something, you'd walk into the store and you told the clerk what you wanted, and he'd go get them for you.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, what
That's
Mr. Goldman,
really nice, actually.
it was very nice, but what was beginning to happen is that these grocery stores would open up, and people would then go and self-serve. They'd pick things off the shelf and carry them up to the counter. Well, what Goldman did, he came up with the idea. He saw a folding chair, and he put a basket in it and put 4 little wheels on it. Yeah.
Shopping carts.
He created and actually patented the shopping cart.
Nice.
He and one of his fellow that helped him at the grocery store, one of the maintenance men, helped him create the grocery shopping cart, inspired by the folding chair. He called it, he named it Folding Basket Carriers.
Well, that didn't stick, did it?
Well, it didn't. It changed quickly to shopping cart. Birthdays today include one of my favorite actors, Bruce Dern.
Bruce Dern.
Oh,
And his daughter's Laura Dern?
Yes.
Yep.
But wow, that man
Yeah,
man
he's
is
good.
So good. Oh, God,
He is good. So is she.
Oh, she's very talented, but he is the best bad guy you have ever seen.
Yeah, he is
He
good.
is great. I love Bruce Dern. Anyway, Black Sunday, Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, Coming Home, The Burbs. They shoot horses, don't they? Middle-aged crazy. He's also a very funny guy as well. Bruce Dern is 78 today. Parker Stevenson is having a birthday. You remember him. He was the Hardy Boys. He did Baywatch. He was on Melrose Place and Falcon Crest and married to what's her name for a while.
Yeah, I can't remember her name myself.
Yeah, something Snap, finger
Gosh,
snap.
what is her name?
Anyway, Kirstie Alley.
Yep, there you go, that's it.
Anyway, 62 he is. Parker Stevenson, 62 today. Keith David, I always get him and David Keith mixed up. But anyway, Keith David is 58 years today he is.
How do we know him?
Dead Presidents, Quick and Dead, The Last Outlaw, Final Analysis, Men at Work, the movies, Always, Bird, Platoon. He was in Platoon.
Okay, that was a great movie.
The Thing, he was Crash. Agent Cody Banks, he was in that as well. Keith David is 58 today. Elle DeBarge, the singer. First name, who would name their child Elle? E-L.
I don't know.
Well, his name is Eldra.
Eldra.
Eldra DeBarge of the group DeBarge, very talented young man. Well, young man, 53 today. All right. Also, birthday for Scott Wolf, actor. Scott was in Party of Five, Evening Star, Naked Dead, and he's 46. And Angelina Jolie.
Today's her birthday?
Today's her birthday. She's 39.
Is that all?
That
Really?
doesn't sound right, does it?
I was thinking she was older than that. Angelina Jolie.
39?
Oh, you thought she was older?
I thought she was older. Maybe not.
No, she's still older.
She just looks older.
Uh-oh. No, she don't.
I didn't say that, did I? Did I did. No.
He didn't mean that.
It's the makeup. It's
He
the act.
didn't
She's an
mean
actress.
that.
She just plays older people.
That's right. You don't ever, ever, ever say that about a lady.
And don't think she's older.
And don't. Shh. Stay with us.
Tonight we're at the Wayne County Public Library, where historian Marty Cheddar of the Public Library will be presenting a program about baseball. Baseball is very important here in Wayne County. We've had several major players go into the sport from right here in Wayne County. Tonight we're going to see artifacts, we're going to hear people talking, we're going to just have a good old time talking about baseball, the American pastime.
Pretty remarkable. All right, the next item we have is, I want to talk briefly about this Fremont, it's a semi-pro uniform. Semi-pro refers to people that make a little bit extra money. This was really big here, really even I think through the 70s, possibly early 80s. Marion may know, when these teams kind of started falling. But anyway, in the 40s, this particular uniform was from the Fremont. All these little communities had teams. In 1947, I came across some really fascinating articles. It was called the Wayne County Semi-Pro League, but it was big enough that it had included 4 counties. It was Johnson, Wayne, Lenoir, and Greene counties. And all these tiny little towns, tiny little Shine in Greene County, they passed through it, headed towards Pitt County, they had a team. So there's a ballpark, or a place where these teams played out in the field. And that's the kind of thing we want to connect. And that's how we connect to other communities as well. To find out document where these fields where they play. But this is a particular uniform from 1947. I have several of the pictures from this league kind of documented. They're over one of these panels. What's neat is it has the names of these towns. So Pikeville, Salson, Paytown, all that. And I think it'd be really, I'd love to find more original photographs and scan them. And then eventually would like to interview some of these folks. But what's interesting about the Fremont team, in 1947, they had a really great team. In fact, Jack Peacock pointed out that Johnny Peacock's younger brother was on this team. Is pictured here. This particular uniform belonged to a gentleman named Glenn Hooks, who was a lifelong farmer. He was donated, or it's on temporary loan. There's a nice little museum in Fremont Heritage Museum. So I saw it there and I asked if I could borrow it. Because all these tiny little towns had teams. But what's significant, though, in 1949, a group after the Major League Baseball season ended, a group of barnstormers, Major League players, they could make extra money by orchestrating, playing in little towns. So you could have all your local community team play this group of Major League players. These are guys you followed in the paper, guys that you listened on the radio to. And ironically, in the 1949 team, the group that came through here was a bunch of mostly guys from North and South Carolina. And Ray Scarborough was the pitcher. And Fremont, it was close. It was they both had 8 hits, and the major leaguers won by 1 run, so it's 4-3. But anyway, this uniform was used in that game, and this is just to really represent and this is another aspect too how big baseball was in Wayne County. So in 1947, there were probably 20 semi-pro teams in the county. There were high school teams. There was a minor league team here. I mean, it was a big deal. And then you had all these major league players that from the county that were, at least at that time, there was Clyde and Ray that were playing Major League Baseball. So that's kind of that connection. And let's see. Okay, George Altman. The only item I have for George at the moment, I have been in touch with him, but just the way he lives in the St. Louis area. Now, we have several of his family, kin with us here. But this is pretty neat. This is, not all the players have this, but this is a kid's glove. It's Wilson. You have people familiar with Wilson, but this is the George Altman model. He went to Dillard High School. He finished in 1951, which was the traditional African-American school here. He went off to college, actually had a basketball scholarship to Tennessee State in Nashville. At the time, that school did not have a baseball team, but near the end of his senior year, they did. But there was someone at school that had a connection with the Negro Leagues. So he got a tryout, or he ended up getting played on the 1955 Kansas City Monarchs, which is the end of the Negro Leagues. And he actually played for Buck O'Neill. Buck O'Neill, if any of you have seen the Ken Burns baseball documentary, Buck O'Neill is profiled in that. He's interviewed a lot in that series, and he played for him. Anyway, then he did play in the military a little bit, and then he signed a minor league or a professional contract in 1956. And then his major league debut was in 1959, and he played 9 years professional baseball, mostly with the Cubs. He did play 1 year in St. Louis and 1 year with the Mets. And then he continued his career and played 8 years in Japan through 1974, 75. But anyway, in his early years, he had a really very powerful hitter. He made the National League All-Star team in 1961 and 62. In fact, he made 3 All-Star teams in those 2 years. Anyone know why? Made 2 All-Star teams, huh?
Oh, they had 2 All-Star games.
From 1959 to 1962, they actually had 2 All-Star games in the season. So that's correct. He made it twice, I think, in 61 and then once in 1962. And then 1 year he led the league in triples. He's the first player to hit 2 home runs in the same game off a Hall of Fame pitcher, Sandy Koufax. That was August 4th, 1961. So that's pretty awesome. All right, so I'm going to talk about Ray Scarborough. Ray Scarborough actually grew up in he actually grew up in Montgomery County, which is in the western part of the state. He went to, he grew up in Mount Gilead, finished high school in 1934. He ended up going to Wake Forest College, where he played baseball. And he actually was, there were some scouts attempted to sign him professionally during school, but he really wanted to finish college, which is what he did. And he actually had a minor injury too. And so he ended up getting a job as a science teacher in Mount Tabor, which is where he met his wife, who was from Mount Olive, and which is where he lived. So during his entire professional playing career, and when he retired, he lived in Mount Olive. And during the off season, back in the era when a lot of these guys played, they had to have second jobs. So he actually worked for Mount Olive Pickle. And there's a lot of great caricatures. There's a lot of great stuff in the Boston paper when he played. That when they would, he was a really good pitcher. So when they would profile him, he was always the pickle man. And so he's always a pickle barrel and stuff like that. There's some fun takeoffs. But I mean, he really helped open up Mount Olive Pickle to the Northeast markets and stuff like that. So that's pretty interesting, and that ties into agriculture. But specifically with Ray Scarborough, he played 10 years in Major League Baseball. A few kind of neat odds and ends that people don't realize. When he was in college at Wake Forest, there was a game that Wake Forest traditionally was called the Easter game. There was that I believe Monday after Easter, I believe is how it worked. It was from 1899 to about 1956, and NC State traditionally would play Wake Forest. And Ray Scarborough pitched in the 1939 series. And he had he only let up two hits. He had 2 hits shut out. So that's one thing. And then when Guy Smith Stadium in Greenville, which still stands, that was part of the old Coastal Plain League, that was opened up. When they opened up that in 1939, Duke and Wake Forest had an exhibition game, when they opened up the stadium, and Ray Scarborough opened up for Wake Forest when they opened up Guy Smith Stadium. And let's see, two really neat things that he did. He was in 1948 and 49. He pitched. The first 7 years he played for the Washington Senators, which was a perennial doormat. I mean, they weren't a great team, but he was a really good pitcher, and he was a really difficult. Ted Williams had a really difficult time hitting him. And so twice he pretty much on his own practically knocked the Red Sox out of the pennant. And there's this really good book. There's some books up here that I have associated with these items that and they're tagged where they reference local players, these guys. So I just wanted to read because David Haberstam is one of my favorite authors. He did some really fantastic baseball books, and he really justified. He does a really great job explaining Ray Scarborough's role. He said. Ray Scarborough was a very good Washington pitcher, perhaps their best, and also Boston's nemesis. This is from a book, called Summer of '49. He had beaten Boston 3 times in the '48 season, including a critical game at the end of the season. Scarborough was a right-handed pitcher, and he was nothing if not smart and crafty. Not only did he give the Boston right-handers a difficult time, but he was poison to their best left-handed hitter, Ted Williams. Scarborough could decoy Williams better than any other pitcher in the league. It was not just a matter of his selection of pitches, it was his motion as well. He would show fastball and then at the last minute go to his curve. 40 years later, Williams paid Scarborough the ultimate accolade. He said that he probably chased more balls out of the strike zone with Ray Scarborough than with any other pitcher in the American League. And that's a Hall of Fame hitter. One game in the series, he struck him out 3 times in a row. So that's pretty something. But what ended up happening is he knocked the Boston Red Sox had to win 1 or 2 games to clinch the pennant, and they lost a real key game to Ray Scarborough. So, and then a few years later, and actually that was in 48, 49, and 51, Ted Williams, because of Ted Williams' urging, actually got him traded to Boston. So here's his hat that he wore with Boston. So his daughter's here with us, Beverly Black Wilner, who let us borrow this. So, and at the end, what we'll do is at the end you can come up, take a look, talk to the family, ask any questions. Okay, and then at the end of 52 season, in August 22nd of 1952, he was actually traded to the New York Yankees to help get the Yankees into the World Series. And he was traded August 22nd, and he won 5 games, lost 1. And he pitched in Game 1 of the 1952 World Series. This is the hat he wore. And he actually was supposed to start the game, but that was kind of at the last minute. Allie Reynolds was chosen to pitch in the end.
I don't know if it was Al Reynolds right here, Fielder.
Well, anyway, he was selected to. He went in the 8th inning. And he got the side out. The Yankees lost the game but won the World Series. Pee Wee Reese hit a home run off him. Duke Snyder lined out. Billy Cox lined out, and he struck out Joe Black, the catcher or the pitcher. So that's Ray Scarborough. We got Bill Yelverton, who's a family friend of Rob Wooten, who Rob went to CB Aycock, Charles Aycock, and he currently plays Major League Baseball with the Milwaukee Brewers. And he's going to talk about a lot for us.
Yeah, I've kind of watched Rob grow up, good friends with the family, but picked up one of these magazines. I don't know if any of y'all picked up one that's got some outside, and it's the official book from the Baseball Hall of Fame. On the cover, the name of it's Memories and Dreams, and that's what all of this is about. These players making memories and living out their dream. Rob just started out. He played Little League ball in Fremont, started pitching when he was 7 years old. Played at Aycock, went to Carolina, played in several college World Series at Carolina, and he holds the record right now for the most appearances in the College World Series by a pitcher. Got drafted by the Brewers, went out to Montana, and just like Clyde and Marion, he got real discouraged because it was real different out in Montana. It's away from his family, and he came close to giving it up. They moved him to West Virginia, to Charleston, to the single A team, and that was a little bit better. I went to see him play there, and I'll tell you a little story about that in a minute. But after West Virginia, he went down to A-ball in Florida. He made the all-star team in A-ball real successful. He had a couple of setbacks and surgeries, but I guess when I think about him, it's perseverance. I mean, he has fought, and he's had determination, motivation to continue on, and he's finally made it. Got called up last year to the Brewers. Started off in Nashville this year, but he's back with the Brewers now. John, Jack, you said John had a love for the game. There's no bigger person with a love of the game than Rob. He's a fierce competitor. That's what Marty said, about Marion. He's a fierce competitor. one similarity they had to Ray Scarborough. Last week at the function, they played a audio clip when Ray's daughter was born, when they had an interview with him. Last year, Rob's daughter was born, his first year in the Major League. So that was a real big event, you know, in his life. And one other, the story that I was going to tell you about West Virginia, I was sitting there watching the game and Rob was pitching. And I keep on hearing a chant in the crowd that goes, "Woo time." And I couldn't figure out, you know, right what was going on. And one guy was kind of leading the chant. So after the game, I asked him about it. And he said every time Rob throws a strike, the fans at the stadium would go, "Woo time." He said that he played minor league ball, pony league. He said it was a pony league. This guy was in his mid-50s. But he said that there was a guy named Wooten on his team. And everybody in the dugout was standing at the edge of the dugout. And every time he threw a strike, the whole team would go, "Woo time." So I catch myself watching Rob now when he throws a strike, I would go, "Woo time." But one other thing about the book here, it's got preserving history, honoring excellence, and connecting generations. What Marty's doing here with this program is preserving the history and honoring the excellence of these players. And with Rob, we're just kind of connecting the generations from one to the other, working with Jerry and Johnny in Milwaukee. And we're just real proud of him. Thank you.
All right, we're not going to talk about Angelina Jolie.
No, we're not. But the baseball was very good.
Oh, wasn't that good?
That was great.
I'm telling you, well, that's a great program.
And now we're going to talk about sprinklers. Yes, we are.
We are?
We've got some sprinkler fun days downtown at Cornerstone Commons.
We do?
We do. June 5th through August the 21st, every Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m. Let your little ones burn off some of their summer energy, and we all know they have lots of summer energy.
Don't they?
The Goldsboro Fire Department will set up their giant water sprinkler, come out and beat the heat downtown Goldsboro.
Oh,
3 to
boy.
4 p.m. It is a giant sprinkler if you've ever seen it before. It's great. Every Thursday, 3 to 4 p.m., Cornerstone Commons. Bring your children down, let them have a free, fun sprinkler party.
That sounds like so much
Isn't it
fun.
nice?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Every
Sure
Thursday.
is. Every Thursday, 3 to
Okay.
4 p.m. Cornerstone Commons.
National Tailor's Day.
Is that today?
That's today.
Okay.
So there
So,
you go. So
yeah.
there you go. All right. All right.
It's so
zip it
funny.
in the bud right now. Birthday today is not a birthday, but a day today. Today is Audacity to Hope Day.
Audacity to Hope.
Audacity to Hope.
I don't
Wasn't
like
that
that.
the president's book?
Was it?
I think it was. Yes.
I don't know.
I don't recall. All right.
Anything else going on today?
Nah.
Nothing?
Well, nothing you'd want to talk about.
Okay. We'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. Okay.
We want to remind you that Arts Council always has their first Friday, the first Friday of each month. They have local artists, they do demonstrations, they have refreshments, meet their studio artists, because they have studios all
do.
upstairs
I
in the
love
Arts
that.
Council. I don't remember how many studios, quite a
Bunch.
few,
Bunch.
6, 8, somewhere along in there. They teach violin lessons, piano lessons. They have all kinds of visual artists up there. So this is an opportunity to meet those artists. The first Friday of every month from 5 until 8 p.m., come on out to the Arts Council of Wayne County.
And
Yeah, that's
visual
nice.
artists up there.
Yes, they do.
and teaching, but it is great. It's fantastic.
It is, yeah,
You can
they-
go by there anytime you hear somebody practicing the violin or the piano,
You may even hear people singing.
or you might hear a brush stroke or two.
Well, you might have to put on your listening ears for that, but you might.
Okay, very good. Well, let's see what we have. Okay, what do we have now? Oh yeah, the blood drive. Got a little contest coming up again.
Yes, we
This will be
do.
the
A little
third
bit
one.
of competition.
A bit of competition, the third one. Now the city won the first competition between the city and the county.
And the county won the second one.
And there you go. So the next one coming up on June 11th, we will again have a little contest going on. See
Who will win, the city or the
who will
county?
be able to give the most blood.
That's right.
Blood. I learned through blood. Boom.
How did I know you were going to do that?
I don't
When
know.
you talk about blood, you do that every time. It's
I
just,
can't help it.
It's so
I
funny.
just can't help it. It's
I
just-
know.
I just-
Mark your calendars. June the 12th, the Monitors will be at Center Street Jam. They will be the band that will be performing from 6 until 9. Come out and join us. Free admission, open to the public.
Yeah, I love
Part of
these
our
guys.
summer music concert,
Yeah,
the
these guys are
Monitors.
great. They're great.
And just so you know, June 26th is the Malthus Brothers.
Really?
Yeah.
Chris and Taylor?
That's right. And Daddy-O.
And Daddy will be
Daddy,
there?
their dad usually
Daddy
here.
will be- yeah, he's with him. He's usually with him.
Yeah. So June 12th, the Monitors. June 26th, Malthus Brothers.
The what?
I knew you were not going to let me get away with that. Daggone it.
No way.
The Malthus Brothers.
Malpus.
And July 10th, thank you, is Jim Quick and the Coastline Band. They're great.
Yes, they
I love
are.
the Coastline Band.
That's a great lineup.
that a good? I
That's
know.
a great lineup.
That's a great lineup.
It's a great lineup.
Okay,
that
we're getting a little bit
Goofy?
goofy.
Oh, okay.
Time for the show to end.
That's right. It's time to move along. We're
Yes,
going to move
sir.
along here. Move along. Move along. Nothing to see here anymore because we're done. We're going to be doing this again tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. Join us again
Yes, we will.
for some reason. Tomorrow at 7 a.m., then we repeat the program at noon, then again at 5:30 p.m. and then
Keeping
some
you
other time.
informed.
We are doing that. That's why we're here, to let you know what's going on around the Wayne County area and the Goldsboro area, right?
That's right.
So until tomorrow, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best, and this is what's happening in your community.